Hello students, welcome to this online course of engineering mechanics. So till now we have seen the centroid, center of mass. Now in the designing problems, major civil engineering problems, we will be dealing with the centroid of the area, the centroid of the cross section area, because mainly for us the strength is coming from the sectional modulus. So we have to check the centroid, and further we have to check the moment of inertia of the section. So it is similar to center of mass only. So let us see what is centroid of the area. The location of the centroid of a plane area is an important geometric property of the area. So that is important. It is very important point. So in accord with common terminology, we use the term area to mean plane surface. So if surface is plane, it means it is a area. If area is given, we have to assume a plane surface. Okay. Strictly speaking, area is a measure of the size of the surface and is not the same thing as the surface itself. So it is only measuring. It is a measure of. It is giving the qualitative analysis, not the quantitative. How we are going to calculate the centroid? We will be using this formula: summation xi ai divided by summation ai. What is ai? Summation ai is total area. Okay, so if we are having a figure like this, so this is one triangle, this is one semicircle, so this area is given. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to calculate area 1, area 2, area 3, area 4 and their respective centroids. So for triangle it is h by 3, for rectangle it is b by 2, and we have to multiply it by area and divide by total area. So if the axis is x, then we will get the x bar, and if it is we are calculating with respect to y axis, then we will get the y bar. So x bar and y bar are the coordinates of the centroid of that particular given area. Now why we are calculating this? Because we want to calculate the moment of inertia of the areas. Okay, so for us this is very important parameter. What? Moments of inertia of the area. Okay, so what is moment? The moment of inertia of the plane are with respect to x and y axis respectively are defined by the integral. So this integral is your moment of inertia with respect to x axis, and this is with respect to y axis. So if this is your y, this is your x. So if some area is given here, so you will calculate x bar, this is x bar, this is y bar, and respective values you will put in this integral, y square dA or x square dA, and you will get your answer. Okay, this will give you the moment of inertia of area. So x and y axis are the coordinates of the differential element area dA. So let us see this diagram. You will get a clear picture. So because dA is multiplied by the square of the distance, the moment of inertia also got second moment. So this is your first moment if y dA or x dA is there. Okay, so this is your first moment of inertia, but here it is y square dA or x square dA. This means, that's why we are telling it as, it is nothing but, let me just clear it. So it is nothing but x into x dA. So this was first moment of inertia. So we are taking moment of this. So this whole quantity will become second moment of inertia. First multiplied, the moment of first is second moment of inertia. So I hope it is clear. If you are having a doubt, you can ask me anytime by emailing me, or just write your doubt in the comment section. So I hope this is clear. So let us see let us try to understand with the help of one example. So moment of inertia of a rectangular area about centroidal axis we have to calculate. Clear? So what we are going to do, this is our area, this is our rectangle, so this is x, this is y. Okay, so dimensions are given, this is d and this is b. Clear? So we want to calculate I x x. So our axis is fixed now. Okay, so parallel to this axis we are going to take a small elemental strip of thickness dy at a distance of y. Clear? So now we are going to take the moment of inertia of this area, small area, with respect to x axis. So how we are going to do? So what is the basic fundamental formula for this? So this will be, if we want to write I axis, this means y square dA. Now you will ask, sir, this is x and this is y, because the distance from x axis is nothing but the y coordinate. That's why we are taking y square. So dA is what? P into dy, the strip area, and y square, just we have to put the values and put the limits. Limits are from minus d by 2 to plus d by 2. Okay, so this is our reference. So this is, if this is 0, so this is minus d by 2 and this is plus d by 2. So this is our limit boundary. So you just put it here, you will get bd cube by 12. If the axis is y axis, if we want to calculate from y, so what you are going to do, you will take a small strip here of thickness dx. So that area will be d into dx multiplied by x square. So you will get db cube by 12. Now I will just tell you the small trick so that you will not forget the moment of inertia of the rectangle. So what is the trick? The trick is, if the axis is this one, if this is your axis, then the cube will come for this value, like b t cube by 12. So similarly, if axis is this, so b cube into d by 12. So this is a small trick. If you are having some problem in remembering the formula, then you can just try to learn from this trick. Now let us come to the next parameter, which is next definition, which is radius of gyration. So these all things you have studied in your physics class, engineering mechanics, physics in the basic mechanics. But we want to apply this knowledge, your basic knowledge, with some additional knowledge, and we want to apply to the engineering problems. So what is this radius of gyration? It is same as our radius of gyration in the center of mass. So if we want to accumulate all the area, so if this is a area, this is our axis, this is area dA. Okay, so if we want to make it a point, okay, let us just show you. If we want this whole area to be accumulated here, so at what distance we have to keep this small area so that our inertia is same, it is not going to change. The I here will remain I here. Okay, so this is the radius of gyration. Clear? So it is a distance known as radius of gyration of an area is used occasionally in mechanics. So you will not hear only in steel problems. In steel mainly you will be using radius of gyration very frequently. So it is defined as the square root of the moment of inertia divided by the area itself. Okay, so this is your formula for radius of gyration. So Rx is under root Ix by A, if axis will be same here. So this R is the distance with respect to x axis, this Y is the difference with respect to y axis. Rx and Ry denote the radii of gyration with respect to the x and y axis respectively. sorry for that, we may consider the radius of gyration of an area to the distance from axis at which an area to be, the entire area could be concentrated and still have the same amount of moment of inertia. This I have just explained. It is written in words, okay? Now, if the axis is centroidal axis, we are having the formula, whatever we have just seen. But what if we want to calculate a moment of inertia, like this is our rectangular area. So these are the centroidal axis. These are passing to centroid. So for this, I am having the formula of y square dA or x square dA, whatever is the axis depending on the axis. But what if I want to calculate it? It is going to rotate about this axis. So how I am going to do that? For that, I have to have some kind of theorem or some kind of law. So to overcome this problem, this theorem, the parallel axis theorem, is going to help us. So let us see what is this theorem stating. Then we will understand it. So the moment of inertia of an area with respect to any axis in the plane of the area is related to the moment of inertia with respect to a parallel centroidal axis by the parallel axis theorem. So this parallel axis means the two axes will be parallel, and the moment it is relating the moment of inertia of those two parallel axes. To derive the extremely useful theorem, we will consider the area. So this is the derivation part. So what we are going to do, this is our dA. This is dA. So this is y-axis, this is x-axis. So centroidal distance is d1 from x-axis and d2 from y-axis, and d is the distance from origin, this d. Now ixx will be what? The distance from y-axis, which is y plus d1 square multiplied by dA. It is written over here. Now just we are opening the bracket. So first term will be y square dA. Second term is 2d1 y dA. So d1 is constant, so we have taken out the integral. And finally d1 square into dA. So this is our final result after opening the bracket. Now y square dA is nothing but the moment of inertia with respect to the centroidal axis only. Okay, IXC. And this term will be 0. This is the first moment of inertia. And this is integral dA is what? Nothing but area only. So IXC means the x moment of inertia about centroidal x-axis plus a into d1 square. So what is this d1? Let us try to understand. So this is the parallel distance between the two parallel axes. So the known axis is here. We want to calculate with respect to this. So this is the distance between two parallel axes. Similarly, if we want to write for y, so what we are going to do? IYC plus the distance between two axes is, this is the distance d2. So d2 square multiplied by area. So this is very simple theorem. Now let us see what is our. Now these are few points which I would like to share with you. The moment of inertia of an area with respect to any axis in its plane is equal to the moment of inertia with respect to a parallel centroidal axis plus the product of the area and the square of the distance between the two axes. So this I have already told. From parallel axis theorem, we see that the moment of inertia increases as the axis is moved parallel to itself farther from the centroid. So we are adding this term. This term is being added. This was centroidal axis. So it is, if we want to have the strength of the section to be more, what we can do? We can move the axis. We can just shift the focus. The particular axis should be shifted so that the moment of inertia can be increased. Okay. Hence, the moment of inertia about the centroidal axis is the least moment of inertia. This is also true because the moment you are shifting to another axis, we are going to add something. So the centroidal moment of inertia are the least possible. The parallel axis theorem is extremely useful for finding moments of inertia, especially for composites area. When using the theorem, why it is useful? Because for the composite area, we have to shift the centroidal axis to the centroidal axis of individual area to the centroidal axis of the composite area. So there we can easily use. When using the theorem, we must always keep in mind that one of the two parallel axes must be a centroidal axis. So the two axis should, at least one should be the parallel axis. What does this mean? This means that either this or this should be centroidal axis, same either this or so. In case this was our centroidal axis, so this should be known. It is nothing like we can just take two different axes and we are applying the parallel axis theorem. That is wrong. Now, what is polar moment of inertia? So the moment of inertia discussed in the preceding section are calculated with respect to axis lying in the plane of the area. So what we were doing, we were calculating the moment of inertia if this is our rectangular section. So the axis was passing through the centroid, and the axis is the plane of the axis, and the plane is same. But what if I want to calculate the moment of inertia about an axis which is perpendicular inside the plane of this page? So how we are going to do that? We have to check different theorem for that. So let us see what is this. The moment of now let us consider. So we want to have the moment of inertia of this area with respect to a plane which is perpendicular inside this plane. So the distance from this axis to the area is r. So IP is nothing but the r square dA, where r is the distance from the point to the area. Now r is what? This is x, this is y, so this is x square plus y square is what? R square. Simple Pythagoras theorem. So what does this equation shows? So we can just put this value and we will see that polar moment of inertia shows that the polar moment of inertia with respect to an axis perpendicular to the plane of the figure at point O is equal to the sum of the moment of inertia. Okay. So this is what I wanted to say. How it is coming? It was what? R square dA. So R square is x square plus y square dA. Simply x square dA plus y square dA. So this is what? This is the axis which were perpendicular. So from here we can say, what we can say? We can say that this thing we can easily say IP is IXS plus IYY. All the axes should pass through same point, and this P should be perpendicular to x and y, and these x and y should be perpendicular to each other. You can see this is x, this is y, so these are perpendicular, and this z is inside the plane, so this is also perpendicular to both axes. So we have to be very careful while choosing the axis. Okay. And this is nothing but whatever we have discussed is nothing but the perpendicular axis theorem. So same, we have discussed the this parallel axis theorem, and we have discussed the perpendicular axis theorem. So depending upon the situation, depending upon the question what it is asking, you can easily apply these two theorems. Okay. Now this parallel axis theorem can be applied to principal axis theorem as well. You can see IP naught, this value. So IP naught, if we want to calculate with respect to other axis than the centroidal axis, then just add moment of inertia about centroidal axis plus AD square. Okay. So this we have completed our theorems. Now one more topic is there, that is product of inertia. It is not that important, but you have to have some basic idea about it. So if I want to write I-axis, so I have to write y into dA or y into y dA. Okay, so this was our simple moment of inertia. But what is x? I-axis is integral y into x into dA. Clear? So this term integral x by dA is called as product of inertia. We define the product of inertia like this only. So product of inertia may be positive, negative or zero depending upon the position of x and y axis of the area. So I-axis and I/y will always be positive because we are multiplying the square. But this product of inertia can be what? Can be zero, can be positive and can be negative as well. When their x and y are having the opposite sign, then it will be negative. The product of inertia of an area is zero with respect to any pair of axes in which one of the axes is symmetry. If symmetry is there, product of inertia will be zero. And the product of inertia of an area with respect to parallel sets of axes are related by a parallel axis theorem that is analogous to the corresponding theorem for moment of inertia and the polar moment of inertia. So you can just apply. So there it was d1 square or d2 square, but here we are multiplying d1 into d2. These are the various distances of the new axis with respect to the older axis. So I am just stopping here. In the next lecture we will be solving the problems and this topic will be over. So this is all for today. Thank you.